The last like 48 hours in Call of Duty have been wild for many reasons. First of all, we have the whole reveal of Season 1 Reloaded. We've already talked about that on the channel. And then we have this thing called skill-based damage, and then Activision actively gaslighting its community. You did not hear that wrong. Let's start from the beginning. First off, skill-based damage. We already know that skill-based matchmaking is a thing. Basically, the higher skilled you are at the game, the higher your kill death, the better you've been doing in games, it is going to put you against better players amongst your skill level, to the point where if you're playing solo, almost every player with you is going to be a very, very similar skill level, and they're going to balance teams based off of that as well. It's what has made Call of Duty frustrating so much over the past few years. Other people call this engagement optimized matchmaking because quite literally it changes after every game based off of how good you are doing. This has been confirmed to be a thing. People have done testing. They've taken low kill death accounts. They've taken high kill death accounts. They've taken accounts that have done well in the past few games, accounts that haven't, and there is clearly a correlation in there. On top of that, Activision has said that yes, this is indeed a thing that we do in the game, and it makes people play the game longer. This has been stated. Now, lately, well, over the past couple of years, there's been a thing and an argument about skill-based damage. Basically, the higher of a skilled player you are, the less damage your gun deals. And the person pushing this forward is someone by the name of Blame Truth. He loves to complain about Call of Duty, and he makes his living complaining off of Call of Duty. I think that's important to note, because essentially, the more he complains about the game, the more money he makes. He trolls. We all know this. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. But one of the things that he's been talking about lately is skill-based damage, and it started to get a bunch of traction. And oddly, it's actually for a good reason. I'm going to show you a clip here by someone by the name of Frund. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I want you to watch this video. He aims at this person, he's moving, and he's very clearly hitting them, but he is not getting any hit markers, and he is not doing any damage until the person stops moving. This essentially confirms skill-based damage, right? He's a higher skilled player, he's clearly shooting them, he is not doing any damage. This confirms what we are seeing here. It confirms that skill-based damage is absolutely a thing. However, that is not what it confirms. I want you to use your brain here for a second. When we're testing skill-based matchmaking, there's a lot of variables that we have to test. The skill of you, the skill of maybe the bot account you're testing, the skill of everyone else in the lobby. It's a hard thing to prove and a hard thing to test. Now, I want you to think about skill-based damage for a second. It is the easiest thing in the world to prove if it was real. You go in a lobby with a low-skilled account and you shoot someone. You see how many bullets it takes to kill. There you have your value. Let's say it takes 5 bullets to kill. Then you go on your high skilled account. You shoot someone. It still takes 5 bullets to kill. It is the easiest thing to test and disprove in the world. It is not in the game whatsoever. I know I'm going to get hate for saying that, but if you really want, go test it for yourself. It's not a hard thing to test whatsoever. So that is not a thing. But then at the same time, if that is not a thing, what the heck is this? Why is this going on in game? He's clearly hitting them. There's clearly blood going everywhere. What is going on here? Well, believe it or not, Call of Duty actually tweeted about this yesterday. So this is the tweet in question. It came out last night. It says, Black Ops 6 and Warzone, we've identified an issue that could result in erroneous visual blood, in other words, fake visual blood, or improper visual blood effects when damage was not actually dealt while shooting at enemies in all modes. So I want to break that down for a second. So they're saying fake blood, blood that should not be there, is only there when damage was not actually dealt while shooting at enemies. In other words, telling us that we are missing our shots. Now, right away, the Waffle Man, aka Milo, said, the gaslighting is crazy, LMAO. This is maybe the worst one yet. Awful. Now, you may be wondering, what are you saying there? Later, this actually got community noted on Twitter saying there's a hit registration issue in Warzone on the client side. It displays that shots hits enemies, showing the visual blood effect of blood, but servers don't register it as valid hits. Now, several people have done videos on this. The Tactical Brit is, I think, the most recent one that I saw. He did a really good video on this explaining why this actually happens. This video, however, really shows what is going on here. So in this video, he is shooting at someone, blood is going everywhere, but he is not dealing any damage whatsoever. Why? He then goes on to explain in the tweet. He said, when intentionally making myself lag, I can make my gameplay look a lot like many of the bad hit reg or skill-based damage hit reg clips that have been shared lately. In short, the blood effects are client-sided and the hit reg is bad, probably because of desync/bad servers. This is just me delaying my outgoing packets though. Okay, what the hell does that mean? So essentially that blood effect that we're talking about is on the client side. So if you don't know what the client side is, essentially the client side is what is going on your console or on your PC, what is going on at your internet connection. That is not where the bullets are registered. The bullets are registered on a server. So for you, it is displaying as you hitting someone, but the hit marker and actual damage is not displaying because the data hasn't gone from you, from your console, from your PC to the servers. So that is why you are seeing some of those clips going around. And let's be honest, sure, skill-based damage isn't real, but the servers are freaking awful. Now, I wanted to quickly discuss why. Real quickly before I do though, just the last thing about skill-based damage. A lot of people are saying that it is still a thing. The only argument, and this is just to play devil's advocate, the only argument I could see to this is if your skill-based matchmaking bracket is so high that the game is giving you a horrible connection, then some of your bullets may not register because of what we just talked about. That is the only argument I could see actually referring to skill-based damage. But no, there is no system that makes your bullet deal less damage than another bullet. Now, moving into more information about the internet connections. So I want to pull a quick clip up from the Tactical Brits video that I think kind of explains this pretty well and how packets work and everything along those lines. So let's just let this play and then I'll break it down a little bit further.
This chart in the background illustrates what super bullets looks like, which is the damage of multiple hits sent in one update. Now, in Call of Duty Warzone, the updates are 20 Hz instead of 10 Hz.
So what he didn't explain there is servers have a tick rate. That is how many hertz the server is on. I believe multiplayer is on 60. However, Warzone is on 20. Basically, the amount of hertz determines how much essentially data can go through in a given period of time. So
there are more updates between bullets in some scenarios. But Call of Duty also features substantially higher rate of fire weapons. So there are going to be some weapons in the game where this phenomenon is exactly what I'm talking about.
What he is not saying here is Call of Duty also has this massive issue called packet burst. And essentially what packet burst is when a bunch of information goes to your router or is coming from your router and your router has to deal with it. And then it shoots a bunch of those packets to your console or to your PC all at once. So not only are we having problems like super bullets, because of the tick rate of the servers, it amplifies further with packet burst on top of all of that. So not only are we having these hit registration issues, we are also having issues with super bullets, why you are experiencing that super fast time to death compared to time to kill, as well as having problems with, say, for example, you run into a room and it looks as though the enemy is staring at an opposite doorway, but all of a sudden they're shooting at you, but on your screen, they have not turned to look at you yet. This is because of the server tick rate as well as packet burst. It is because the servers suck. Now, I want to tell you something that no one has talked about yet, and that is why this is going on. And essentially, it's because Activision's being cheap. They are paying for cheaper servers. And yeah, the ones on Black Ops 6 should be better and performing better than they actually are with 60 hertz servers. But Warzone has no excuse. They are on 20 hertz servers. They always have been on 20 hertz servers since the beginning of time. Now, the thing that I haven't told you yet is why. I have a feeling since the acquisition of Microsoft, there is probably a push to get Call of Duty on better servers. However, they have been on the same servers since the launch of Warzone. Now, I have a friend who works in internet. I'm not going to expose where he works or anything like that, but just to give you an idea of some of the things that he knows is when Call of Duty launched, there was so many downloads of specifically Black Ops 6 the day that it came out that it crashed the internet in Alaska. This is the kind of information that he has. Now, he also knows the way that servers work, and what probably happened is when Call of Duty Warzone was launched, they knew that they were going to need a ton of servers, and they'd have to pay a lot of money for said servers because there's a lot of people playing one game at once. It's a free-to-play game. There's a lot of people playing, so they wanted to pay less money for them. And because the movement wasn't super fast back in Modern Warfare 2019 like it is now, they said, we're going to put this on 20 hertz servers. We also don't know if the game is going to do well. Of course, it did. COVID helped with that and everything like that. But he said he was willing to bet that when they bought these servers, they probably signed a deal with whatever company they are with that states they are on these servers for a specific amount of time, a specific amount of years. Hence why there has not been any effort to push the game onto other servers. Now, he could not confirm this. He doesn't have inside information. He just told me that often cases, companies that work with these servers sign deals along those lines. So Call of Duty may be waiting for those servers, for their contract to run out with those servers in order to get on something new. Because keep in mind, Xbox does have their own servers, and as of right now, Warzone is not on those servers. If I'm being honest though, this tick rate of these servers should probably be something more like 120 hertz, which would be very expensive for Call of Duty, but look at all the microtransactions they're putting in. Look how well Black Ops 6 is doing. I think the number one reason why the player numbers are starting to drop for Warzone isn't because of skill-based damage, it is because of cheap servers. And with games like Valorant, or I don't know the way to say it properly, having a 120 hertz servers, that needs to be fixed. The other thing is hackers. I'm not even going to talk about hackers in this one. They need to fix that too. But this is about the servers. This is about the hit reg. This is about skill-based damage. Skill-based damage is not real. The Call of Duty servers are sucking. And on top of that, however the game is designed right now with the amount of packet burst and everything going on, there is problems. It is not that you're missing shots or hitting the wrong area and blood is appearing. It is the fact that the servers are not working properly. And yes, Activision was gaslighting us when they were saying, oh, it's just erroneous blood. It's not supposed to be there. No, it is supposed to be there. It's just the client and servers are not working in tandem. And that is the issue. So it needs to be fixed. I don't know when it will. Hopefully they address it soon. And hopefully they actually tell us like the legitimate reason as to what's going on. Not just say, hey, it's not supposed to be there. But for now, this is what we know. Hopefully I could give you some information that you didn't know or explain how this works and everything in between. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, turn notifications on, all of that kind of jazz. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.